What's up and good morning everyone, welcome back to the Resurrected Diesel channel. Today we're back in the shop doing some more good stuff. It looks like I got punched in the face. I don't know what the fuck happened. But hey, it is what it is. I think it was like a pimple or something. I don't know, they got infected. I don't know. Anyways, besides the point, we're back in the shop. We are working on I guess we're always in the shop. I don't think we do anything fun besides work. Well, that's kind of depressing. But anywho, we are at the shop today. We're gonna be working on Denver's Mile High Duramax. As you guys saw in the last video, if you haven't yet, stop watching. Go watch the last video now. And if you guys wanna see how to delete an L5P, go watch that one too, because we just posted that one. It's doing great, thank you guys for the support. Anyways, today, we have this cut out. We're waiting on a few more parts to get some stuff done, but in the meantime, we're gonna sandblast this. So, we might actually sandblast some of the, if we can get it working. So, let's talk about the setup real quick for the sandblasting. This is a top of the line, I'm telling you, top of the line, special Harbor Freight sandblaster. So, nothing too crazy, it's just a, you know, your regular old Harbor Freight sandblaster. We got the large tip in there. We had some issues with the media we were using going through it and everything, but you know, I got this ultra fine glass media that's made for more so like taking just paint off and stuff, not so much blasting material to crap, but super thin. So hopefully we just need to take paint off this and clean it up a little bit. So hopefully it does the job. I don't know if it's going to. We're gonna crank the pressure up and get it all started and get it going. But basically that's on the list of things to do for today, is just start cleaning this up, get it prepped for welding. Cut some stuff out for the rear, and I just want to see how the sandblaster works. So I personally haven't used it yet, but I'm gonna get some gloves on, a face shield, and get the axle outside, and we'll start blasting it and see what happens. So we got everything set up, axles outside, everything's all good. We're gonna put our air to it. I'm gonna move my truck out of the way just so it doesn't get blasted, and then we'll try and start blasting this. I'm gonna set up the GoPro and see if we can't make a dent on some of this paint. Alright guys, so after getting this all blasted, it actually came out really good. We had to use the finer grit, like an 80 grit mesh. Now I did gouge the axle a little bit when we were cutting it with the plasma. It's not a big deal, we're just gonna weld it up and grind it smooth. You know, accidents happen for sure, but as you can see, it's pretty clean. We acetoned it and then, you know, just wire brushed a little bit, Scotch-Brite and everything. So we're gonna get this welded up, and then we'll weld the axle tubes with the MIG. Just blasting it helps it a lot, you know. We do have to preheat it, weld it, and then heat blanket it after. So I'm gonna touch up these on the axle tube, get this all kind of ground smooth, and then we'll weld the axle tubes and then start working on the truss and everything. So we got that cleaned up pretty much good. I was looking at some pinion angles and stuff right now, just kind of setting some stuff, which we'll get into later, what we're actually gonna be doing. But for now, we are going to take these blocks out and we're actually going to weld up the axle tube. So I'm going to basically fixture this by ratchet strapping it down, you know, onto pretty much the tube itself, and then we'll basically, because that's going to hold, you'll see, We're gonna ratchet strap it so that way it prevents as much flex as possible. Not that there really would be any, but we're gonna preheat these right here where we're welding to the cast, and then we're gonna heat blanket it after. So we're gonna focus most of our heat onto here, but we're gonna weld right around this seam, but you wanna stay mostly on the tube side. So we left off welding up the axle tubes right here. Axle's still looking clean as all hell. So what we're gonna do is we're going to pause my phone because it's still making music. So what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna grind these down. I know I need a clearance down here a little bit, but we're gonna get all the slag off of these from being cut out in the plasma. We had a little bit of issue with the plasma right here, you can see a little bit. So I'm gonna touch it up with the TIG welder, get them all kind of cleaned up nice, and then we'll bolt them back together with our spacers. And now, I don't know if you guys know this, if you're new here or whatnot, I'm actually in school right now. So I work here during the day and then go to school at night. I go to the fab school. It's a metal fabrication school, I guess if you will. Mostly off-road stuff or whatever. But we actually machine down these spacers to build control arms for coilovers. So I'm actually using them, so I guess good things to have in life or whatever. So I made those so they're like 20 thou over what the width you need for a shock spacer, so you can weld everything and it stays. You get the point. Anyways, so once we have these all cleaned up, we're gonna put these back in between there, bolt them in. It represents a coilover, 1/2-inch bolts, all that good stuff. And then we will weld it to the axle, centered and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna get to clean these up real quick, and yeah. Hopefully get them welded on today. I get some HSP goodies over there too. All right, so at this point we have the axle pretty much jigged up, ready to go, bolted back together, cleaned up, ready to weld pretty much at this point. So right here, I already measured side to side. So we have about 4 and 11/16 to there, center of bolt, and then 4 and 11/16 to there, center of a bolt. You know, we're not gonna cry over a 16th because, you know, this is on its own thing. So we got this pretty much set. But now what we're working on is getting our degrees, or like our, oh, I think we need to go back a little bit. I'm gonna check the measurement again too once this is set. So we're trying to get this straight vertical right now, and I'll show you why in a minute. So we're pretty good there. So I'm gonna double check my measurements. But so right here, so we're trying to figure out, obviously we don't have it built yet or anything, but we're trying to figure out all our angles, right? So I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. This is about 5 degrees of pinion angle, which is about what the transfer case has coming out. So you want 5 degrees down and then 5 degrees up from the pinion to the you want them to be pretty similar, because you want the same angle of the drive shaft, just obviously opposites. You don't want the same. So if your drive shaft comes out of your transfer case and goes down, you want it to go like plateau off into your rear end to keep all your torsional vibration and all that stuff good. So we're trying to set everything. So we have 5 degrees up on this, but we want this. So I got it chalked up to make it 5 degrees, kind of set everything where we want it. We should make that adjustable, but it's okay. But in the truck, we want this to be vertical. So, you know, at ride height or whatever, this will be 5 degrees up, but this will be straight up and down. So that's what we're going for. So I'm gonna get this tacked on. I think we're pretty good. We have 5 degrees of pinion angle. If we put this over here, we're at 90 to the world, which is what we want. A little bit past. But I'm gonna double check all these measurements. I'm gonna make sure we're centered on the axle, and then I'm gonna get this thing tacked into place. Sorry, the focus. But this is what it takes, is setting your axle truss. You wanna make sure everything's good, and then after this, we'll have to build our link arm plates that go onto here for the tire, for the bars that come off the cradle. So getting there. It looks pretty good though. I'm pretty stoked. This is looking good. Definitely looking good. We still need to rebuild this axle too, so that's coming soon. So we got this thing welded up. Pretty stout, pretty happy with it. Everything fit good. We're all good. Angles look good. Everything looks straight. All that good stuff. So now, the next part. And now, we're going a little different route. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the video. We were talking about heim joints, all that stuff. Normally, you'd run like a heim joint or like a Johnny joint or the bushing on every end. Well, instead of making everything from scratch and whatever and trying to make it all work, I bought Ford front end bushings, like the Dana 60 we're putting in it uses. So I bought a replacement set and I bought an extra set. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna build a, I gotta sneeze. Shit. Anywho, we're gonna build mounts that hold this. So I'm gonna try and make something that this fits into and we can weld to the axle. Hopefully it all goes well like it does in my mind. Basically we'll be using the Ford kind of as guidelines, I guess. So I'm gonna go take some measurements, try to get something drawn up if we have enough time today. I'm not so sure. Yeah, we got an hour. I can probably get something done. So I'm gonna go take some measurements, get it drawn up, cut one out, and see if we can get it to somewhat fit. So, yeah, we got plenty of metal left loaded. Yeah, we should be good. All right, I'm gonna go design something. We'll be back. Alright guys, so we still have a little bit of churching up to do on these, but look at these mounts, man. For the bushings, for the axle, this is gonna come over here and go on something like that. So obviously we gotta fine tune it a little bit, make sure it all fits good, but that's gonna be killer. I'm excited, this is gonna be cool. So we're gonna work a little bit more, get the other one all set up, and then get those welded on. Hopefully get the axle underneath there and start making some bars. So Austin's basically building these right now. Our little brackets here that we got all welded on the axle. So this is gonna be our link arm mount. So our link arms are gonna come into here, bolt onto that, and then yeah, then they'll go up to the cradle in the middle. So we're getting there. We're making some progress. This is definitely looking good. So super excited. Should be pretty stout here soon. Ready to go. We're gonna try and get the link arms made today and maybe get it underneath the truck. All right guys, we are burning the midnight oil on a Saturday. As you can see, we got some DOM 2-inch 250 wall tube cut out. And I guess you can say we are getting this axle ready to go under the truck. I'd like to get all the bars done today. So we have our heim joints on one end, our clevis ends on the other. So we're gonna get them welded up. I'm gonna clean them, Austin's gonna do them, weld them up. But we got our new heim joints here. Dun da da, look at these bad boys. Hell yeah. I need to get more bolts, I think, but I think I have enough to at least get us through the rear end, and then I'll have to order some more for the front, but at least we can get it set in there, make sure everything works. And then we have this kit from WFO for the clevis end, so we'll get into welding those up. But right now, we're just gonna get the bungs welded in and get those all set, and then cleaned up the other end, so that way we can do the clevis end. We'll get them seated up in there. Look at that. So we only got one side done. It's late, it's a Saturday night. We don't want to be working. We're gonna go home and relax. But we want to get at least one side done to see how it looks, see how everything actuated and moved and everything. So once we get the other side set, we'll actually go through the range of motion, make sure everything's square and all that stuff. But that's looking killer. Austin did a great job of welding these up, so we got 2 more to weld up, but these things came out awesome. Alright guys, so ending a little bit later on a Saturday than we wanted to, but we're gonna call it a night for tonight. We got both these bars done. I'm super excited to get this thing done. I can't wait. But that's pretty much gonna do it for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. This build is coming together super fast, and before you know it, we'll be done, and it'll be out of here.